Hello, esteemed viewers. You are welcome to another exciting time on Kukuza Africa. And today promises to be very, very, very informative and exciting, if you allow me to use that word a second time. We have as our guest today, Adenike Apeji, who happens to be the Chief Executive Officer for Renee Golden Multi Ventures Nigeria Limited. She's been our guest on a training program on designing functional and effective fundraising and financing strategies for non-profits and social enterprise organizations in sub-Saharan Africa. She was such an active participant at the program, and we said, no, before she goes back to Lagos, we just want to have a close word with her. And I really want to say to you that you just must, listen to this lady. She has so much under her sleeves. Adenike, you are welcome to this time on Kukuza Africa.
It's nice to be on Kukuza Africa. I am really excited being here this afternoon.
And I will tell you this right away. When I saw your products, I've been hearing of these products for quite a while. I mean, I got quite some information from Nigeria. I got photographs of the products. But when I, more or less experienced them by tasting them, having the feel, I thought to myself, I said, we need to speak with you, to find out what, you consider the beginning of all this. I can see you have here, viewers, I don't know, if you can, get a good look, from the camera, here she has what she calls Renee lips.
Yes.
I can tell you that the taste is out of this world. It's a snack, it can be a meal, and I know as children we used to eat something of this nature, and we called it kuli. I'm going to open it. Yes, I'm going to open it as we go on in the program. She also produces honey and also produces groundnut oil. Let me say this. The last time I ever had an encounter with groundnut oil is years and years ago. That was the time of my grandmother, and my mother in the early days. So just tell us something. I mean, what is all this about?
All right. Yeah. Excitingly, I'll pick it from where you stopped.
Right.
History has got it that we have things that we enjoyed as children. Mm-hmm. We loved it, and it kept us even on the hygienic and healthy path.
Right.
And it was fast going out into extinction.
Okay.
For example, kuli in my own locality, you will hear kuli akomolole, meaning that kuli teaches a child to go and steal, meaning that snack is actually nutritious. Every child loves to have it.
Right.
Once you get a gift, you're running to the road to get one.
Right.
Okay, so we looked around and we found out that it was fast going into extinction.
Okay.
One, because of the production route.
Right.
It was left and abandoned to some set of people who were not concerned about hygiene.
Okay.
And the world is fast growing and it's fast approaching. We need to take into cognizance what do we eat, how is it prepared, what are the nutrients that come into it.
Right.
And so we sat in. Basically, if you go to the historical background of my going into the snack, it was basically from my NYC year. We call it the service year.
Right.
Okay, I
the
served in
national
my national service
right.
in Nigeria.
Right.
I served in a village called Kutigi, which is actually by the Nupes, by tribe. The Nupes owns the snack by tribe.
Where is Kutigi by the way?
Kutigi is in Niger State. Niger State is another part of Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay, so that snack is prominently from their culture, as everybody has a cultural heritage with food. Food has cultural heritage in its sense.
Right.
And so I sat there and I saw that this was nice. Everybody was trooping in, but the value was not being placed on the table.
Okay.
So I sat down and I began to look into it. I had one of my mothers living with that environment, and we sat, and she actually had PhD in hotel and catering management, and she was a lecturer in that, and she was a major in UN concerning food and public health.
Right.
So we sat down together and we began to think about the snack and said, no, there's more to it. And then we took it to the lab, we did a test. You can see on it, we have the labels, you see the calories, you see the benefit that comes with it. we refined it with a bit of additions, and then we brought something fantastic out of it.
Right.
And so that's a bit of the history of how we came to this. And you see, sometimes we need to understand that a thing can be good, but if its presentation is not worthwhile,
right,
nobody accepts it from you.
That's true.
You can eat from a dirty plate.
Right.
So how you package your things,
right,
how you present it to the world needs to matter. So we took an extra strength, and we went and we began to look for it. This packaging has a prolific foil protection that protects the food that keeps in it. It increased the shelf value of the product. All those things we took into place. And we sat with food scientists. We have 2 food scientists working with us. We have 1 nutritionist working with us. And we're looking into the depth that this thing can become a standard and it can sit in Sainsbury. If a cookie can sit on the shelf, then kuli can sit on the shelf.
Wonderful.
And that's how
so looking at this product,
yes,
I will allow Adenike, Onike for short, to just give us the constituents of the kuli, that is the Renee Kulips. We're going to be talking about this first before we go into her other products. And just like from what she has said, basically this is hygienically produced and prepared. She's mentioned how she got food scientists, involved in the concept of, putting it together, making it available and then producing and getting, on the shelf. May I ask, when was the first Renee Kulips made?
2016.
2016.
December 2016.
So you are a young industry, so to say. You are a young company, so to say.
We're just coming up.
Okay. I mean, that's great to know. So could you just tell us about the nutritional benefits or attributes of this? I mean, you will be, a better person to tell us what.
Actually, if we're talking about the benefits of the main ingredient is peanuts.
Okay, peanuts.
We have garlic in it.
You have garlic?
Yes, we have garlic in it. Garlic helps you, bowels and everything. Okay, so you can tell that the nutritional values are of good components.
Great.
All right. So those are the things that we have in it. We have garlic, which is good for your bowels. We have granite. It's processed, it's expressed, but it's cold pressed. Cold pressed. Okay, so the oil that comes from it, that's why you see it in its original content. It's cold pressed. Okay, nothing is being tinned out of it.
Okay,
it's in its original state.
So basically, the granite oil is an offshoot or a byproduct of the kuli.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Because our main concentrate was the snack.
Right.
We needed to put it. If you compare it with every regular flour that the children take, okay, you will find out that this has more nutritional value for the health of the child than the other offers that we have. Okay, so our main product that we're looking at is the kuli. Okay, it's a nutritional snack. Everybody wants to snack something, but you need to snack healthy. Okay, so we have it there. So the byproduct for us is the oil. But we found out that, to my surprise, you see the way you gave that expression, when last did you say granite oil? It was extinct, it was going off. And then the nutritionists have come back to tell us that every vegetable has a healthy oil. So you're talking about cholesterol and everything, we're bringing that into extinction. And that's why it's part of the byproduct.
And here we have, viewers, we're going to have an opportunity to taste the kuli before the end of the program, but I just want to ask the questions first, so that I don't get engrossed in eating and then you don't get, information. So, Nike, aside from seeing, the profit potential of this business, I can just imagine that Niger State is far from where you live.
Yes, absolutely.
So, what would you say, actually is your motivation for starting this particular line of business?
To be honest with you, the northern part of Nigeria has a lot of potential. Okay. My main drive, I actually, during my service here, I sparked a specimen. What was the specimen? I found idle young people always sitting under the tree. And then I woke up one morning and
said, in the rural area?
In the rural area, where I sat. Don't forget I served in Kutigi, which is a subset of a local government.
How far is that from the capital, Mina?
From the capital, I think about 45 minutes, 1 hour drive.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's pretty close to the capital.
Exactly. It's
Right.
not really far.
Yeah, right.
From Bida, which is the nearest town,
Yeah.
where we have the Etsu of Nupe,
Okay.
it's about 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
25 minutes drive.
Okay.
Yes. So, apparently, going back to my storyline, I saw some young people just sitting under the tree, and I'm asking, is there a work to go to? I became an inquisitive child,
Right.
you know, and so I began to check with them.
Right.
So what is it that it can be done? So
Right.
I took it upon myself. I need to create something.
Mm-hmm.
I need to create a line of job. I need to create something for these people, and that led me to
Employment.
That led me to vocational education.
Okay.
And then I started by teaching them English. I brought the first computer system into Kutigi.
Wonderful.
And that was all my action points, which attracted the governor to give me an award when I served in Kutigi.
Right.
So I put the young people together, and then I said, the history I hear about the northern part is not what I see. So they just needed an open-ended access to opportunities.
Right.
And so when the idea for the product came, I began to see these women. They sit down, they bring the granules in their little kitchen, they make the snack. It becomes something. So how do we grow their base?
Yes.
How do we help them
Expand
their horizon? You
Yes.
see, let me say to you, an average woman that lives in Bida
Right.
does not find a road map, even to Mina.
Right.
Some of them don't even find a road map to Lagos.
Yeah.
And so someone comes, look at it, cushion it for them, and build a road map, even to UK.
Right.
So that's
For their products.
Exactly, that's going to increase their capacity.
That's true.
So somebody who is producing for 20 naira before
Right.
can increase and produce 100 naira, 1,000 naira,
Right.
and from that locality,
Right.
build capacity for
Right.
herself.
Right.
And so we need to put light in dark places.
Right.
It reduces rural-urban migration.
Okay.
Rural-urban migration is not needed. There is light everywhere. We just need to spark it.
Right.
And so from there, we began with the women.
Right.
Empowering the women within that locality. We didn't take the production away from the locality in the first place.
Right.
So we started from there.
So you
we're having them
produce in Kutigi?
Yes, no, we produce in Bida.
Bida, okay.
Yeah, Bida
Which
is
close
the
to
nearest
Kutigi.
town, okay?
Right.
And so I'll tell you about the nearest raw material
Okay, yeah.
and other things. So we have the local women farming their products, and they have a place to sell it. So we go to source from the women.
Right.
They have market days where they bring in their hub, we source from them.
Right.
And so nearest to raw materials, empowering the women. The increase in the yield of usage in groundnuts is an increase for the woman's income.
That's true.
So those are the things that made us to really look deep into this and said, let's put light in dark places.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. And you know, it's great to know that it's not all about profit.
No.
You know, you started this business more or less out of a motivation or an interest, I would say, in the local women.
Exactly.
You know, to increase their capacity.
Exactly.
You know, to empower them.
Exactly.
Give them, you know, more or less market for their raw materials, which essentially are the peanuts.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that by the establishment of Renee Golden Multi-Ventures factory in Bida,
Right.
you have been able to reach out, you know, to
more women.
you know, to more women.
I'll
in
tell
that
you a
locality.
short story, sir, that will move you.
Okay.
You know, when we started running and then our production capacity grew to a particular point, a particular woman, you know, came back one day, you know, when Corona hit us,
Right.
and we needed to stop first and see what is going to happen. She came and said, if you stop, I'm going to die. I said, how is that? How would you die if I stop? And she said, my daily contribution from my work in this factory
Right.
is what sustains me.
Me and family.
And you've given me a room for expansion.
Right.
How do you want me to compress on that?
Right.
So you see the effect. The women have daily contribution. So we bring accountability, we bring the limelight of what makes you to sustain a home. All of that we put into them. And from that daily contribution, they have monthly contribution. Some of them send their children to school. They are able to, some of them have sent their children to higher institutions.
Right.
From this production capacity.
Wonderful.
So that is the thing that is motivating us. It's not the profitability is just an addendum.
Right.
When you're solving a problem,
Right.
you
In
can
society.
never be extinct from profitability.
That's true.
So our core is not basically first of all
The
profitability.
profit,
It's the life of the people.
The people.
Yes.
And you know what that has more or less helped you to do, if I may add, you know, is that you're basically at the source of the raw materials for your products.
Exactly.
So nearness to your raw materials, you know, more or less makes your products to be affordable.
True.
So to say.
Yes.
So
which is a core and part of our mission.
Yeah. And viewers, I just want to mention to you that Nig is a trained accountant, so she watches her pennies very closely. So if she decides to cite the factory at the source of, you know, her raw materials, then basically she's also looking at, you know, how, you know, the cash flow benefits of, you know, being very close to the source of our raw materials, you know, will impact positively on the outcome of the business. You know, so at this point, I want to ask you something. What is your production level now?
Right now,
and when I say your production level, I want us to look at all the products you're placing out in the market.
Okay.
We are aware now that you're doing the kuli snacks. We're also aware that you're doing honey.
Yes.
And also you're doing granite oil, which incidentally is, you know, a byproduct of the kuli process.
Actually.
Right. So what would you say, you know, concisely, what would you know, indicate as your current production capacity? Will you give us that in tonnage?
Right now, we are not yet in tonnage.
All right.
Reason because we have 25% machine production capacity.
Okay.
Right? Meaning that 25% of our process, 75% of our process is still manual.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to move to machinated process.
Okay.
Right, but currently right now we do about 600 to 700 kilograms per week.
Per week.
And you see, the good problem I have right now is that the snack has come on the table and everybody keeps demanding.
600
to 700
kilograms per week.
Per week.
Now, that is for the kuli.
That's for the kuli.
Great.
So the byproducts that comes with it,
right.
If we do 600 kilograms, I'm having about almost 25 liters by 10, that's about 250 liters of oil.
So for 700 kilograms of kuli, you get
about between 7 to 10 gallons of the 25 liters.
Yes,
which
and
is 250 liters.
That's 250 liters.
Yes, but
right.
But that is commensurate to the species of groundnut.
That is per week.
Exactly, per
Great.
week.
Great.
Per week. That's what we do per week, and that's not enough. As I speak with you, there's always a queue. Products land, and there's not enough. So it's a good problem.
Right.
For me, I'm not afraid of a kind of problem.
Right.
It means that the demands.
Let me ask you about your raw material base.
Yes, sir.
Is there any likelihood that raw materials could be a problem for you in northern Nigeria?
Yes, northern Nigeria, we have a bit of insurgency and one or two things.
Right.
And so, you know, your business is not only growing on internal factors,
right.
It's also growing on external factors.
Yeah.
And so you have to look into that. So
right.
we began to look down south, like Abeokuta.
Right.
There's some other people, local growers.
They produce granules in the south.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes. We
great.
started finding there's a woman that has a farm in
on
Abeokuta.
On commercial
yes, on
basis.
commercial basis. So the expanse of land, but of course you will agree with me that the southern part of Nigeria, you know, we have a bit of land space because
right.
it's close to the urban areas,
right.
and we can have as vast as the northern part, which
right.
actually concentrates on that as their means of
you know some years ago, actually in the 60s and in the 70s in Nigeria, there was this very popular groundnut pyramid
exactly.
in northern Nigeria. So,
yes.
which goes to say that, you know, the commodity is widely farmed
yes.
in northern Nigeria.
Yes, I agree with you.
Right. So, looking at the fact that as things stand now, you are in contact with the local women who are farming, so in a way you are involved in their farming process.
Exactly.
So your raw material base is assured. You could also buy from other parts of Nigeria if there is any you know, any problem in any side of the country that produces the raw material.
In fact, we can go as far as offshore Nigeria.
To even buy,
exactly.
you know, your raw materials.
People move raw materials from Ghana, from
right.
different places overseas.
Right.
So,
right.
so we would not limit ourselves.
Right.
Okay, Gambia is another land that
right.
has vast groundnut. So we don't look. We're looking internationally now.
Right.
That's why we're here.
Right.
So we need to look beyond the shores.
Right.
But my main thing is, can we go back to farming and have a cluster of gathering? You mentioned the groundnut pyramid. At a point, I needed to make groundnut pyramid my screenshot permanently.
Right.
I went to read the history and I asked myself, if this thing had no value,
right.
nobody would store it this much.
Right.
So if the storage is that much, that means there's value in it.
There's value in it.
There's Nutella that uses peanuts to produce.
Okay.
All these companies have values. We need to sit in the value chain space and bring quality out of everything we're doing. That's just what we need to do, and that's what Renee is here to do.
Right.
Renee is ready to work with the farmers,
right.
work with the end users,
right.
stay in the middle, and spend our energy and innovation to build products that will last.
Yeah, Nika, let me ask you this question.
Yes, please.
Given the potential, the opportunities available to Renee Golden Multi-Ventures, what would you think will be your market share or production capacity in 5 years if you had all the money you required to do what you want to do?
Honestly, right now, I want a machine that gives me 1 ton production in 10 hours.
Okay.
And the market is ready.
Okay.
So, within the next 5 years, if I have every available fund, I will produce 10 tons a week.
10 tons a week.
Yes. And the market is there.
Right.
Honestly.
With the byproducts.
With the less than it's almost a ton we're doing in a week now.
Right.
With the less than a ton,
right.
we're only using distributors.
Right.
And end producers. We have not gotten on the shelves.
Okay.
Supermarket.
Right.
Because we sat down and said, if we blow it out, we won't be able to see it. But we need to be ready. I'm someone who counts the cost.
Right.
You know, the word that I believe in says, would a man want to build a house and not sit down and count the cost?
Right.
So we've looked at the cost. That's why we're looking for investors, telling them this is something that you can invest in and will have spread capacity for lives.
From what you've said, I mean, it appears or sounds that there are no issues with raw material production. You can do 10 tons a week,
yes.
you know, in 5 years' time. But to grow to that extent, of course, you will need certain financial inputs.
Exactly.
And how much will you be looking at?
With the $600,000 will be fine.
$600,000.
Yes.
And the $600,000 basically will be going into what?
We've tiered it into different segments. We need to take care of the growers.
The growers.
So that we don't kill ourselves and shoot ourselves in the leg.
Right.
We're sitting in the value chain.
Right.
We don't intend to own any farm.
Right.
You have a focus on your goal. It keeps you more efficient.
That's true.
We're not interested in going to the farms.
Right.
Where are the farmers? The farmers have been crying for years. They put their yield, their risk to them. Do you know that there's hardly insurance company that insures the farmer?
Yeah.
Because there's a high level of risk.
Yeah.
So if we all come together, but we have to eat, and then build a sustainable support for them, get them their seeds, get them, give them some level of support, and then help them build value for their harvest.
That's great. So, so after you do with the farmers,
yes.
what else will you be applying such sums of money to?
Okay, so we'll also be building a factory.
The factory, okay.
Yes,
and where will this factory be sited?
We have 2 locations in mind, okay, checking all the factors because we don't want an investment that sinks.
Yeah.
So we're checking all the factors. We're going with sensitivity to the external and internal factors.
Right.
And we have 2 locations. We have
Right.
one in Lagos
Yeah.
and then one in Niger State.
Great. So
Okay.
in other words, you would be doing a multi-location
Exactly.
kind of
Exactly.
production base.
Yes, so that we don't
Which-
have any shocker.
Right. So in effect, you'll be spreading your risks,
Exactly.
so to say.
Exactly.
All right. And the way things stand now, do you have international market for what you do?
Wow. Yes.
In what countries are your products?
UK,
In the UK,
US,
US,
Dubai,
right?
South Africa.
South Africa.
You know, I don't want to mention. They're just enormous.
What of Ghana?
Ghana.
Yes. Recently.
Recently.
Right.
We're looking into Ghana in recent
Right.
times.
So in other words, your demand in Nigeria is assured,
Absolutely.
and the reports you are getting from the foreign market also indicate
Exactly.
that
We've done over 1,000 pieces of this to the US.
to the US,
Yes,
and
8,000.
they're still demanding
Yes.
for more.
Every time.
Great,
Every time.
great.
You see, my core is the affordability.
Yeah,
When products come to the table for people
yeah,
with that word affordability,
affordability. Yeah,
it gives it a good push.
yeah,
Okay, it gives it a good push, and that affordability, especially that it comes with the kulikuli. Kulikuli gives you affordability.
right,
You can't disconnect the two.
right,
That's what comes to natural mind.
right.
When you tell you kulikuli, you say, "Oh, come and buy this kulikuli for 10,000 naira."
Wow.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, viewers, you know something. We're going to be placing the photographs and the prices of the products, on the video, so you can just take a look at them and then appreciate what Nika is saying about the pricing. How many products do you have so far?
Right now, we've grown to 4 product lines.
Four product lines. Okay.
We have kulikuli.
Kulikuli, which is, I can say, your flagship.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my flagship. That's
Right.
in short, is my passionate baby.
Right.
When the food scientist in the office is talking and we are talking about other products,
Right.
he says there's this tick that comes in you.
Right.
I said,
When you
that's
get
the
to
passionate baby.
kulikuli.
It's okay.
Right.
The honey, we
Mm.
went into honey because I was speaking to the chairperson was covering the honey beekeepers in Nigeria.
Okay.
I was supposed to be in a conference in Abuja.
Okay.
And you see, the level of the adulterated honey in the system
Mhm.
is bad.
Terrible.
And so we want value,
Right.
value in everything. So we
Right.
delved into it. We have growers, we have honey beekeepers,
Right.
we have some of them close to the south now.
Right.
There's one between Abeokuta and Lagos.
They actually farm the honey.
Yes, they
Yeah.
farm the honey.
Good. Using beehives.
Yes, within beehives.
So they don't-
and we
they-
monitor.
Yeah, so they don't pick the honey from the wires.
No.
As it were.
Yeah, they
Great.
do it. And so we monitor the process
Mhm.
and we put the market value for them.
What's your production capacity now for the honey?
That's really low.
Okay.
It's at the bottom of the pyramid for
Okay,
us
okay.
in
Yeah.
our selling products.
Right.
It's really at the low
Right.
because they need more concentrations,
Yeah.
more of their equipment,
Right.
and we're just researching.
And the
into it.
turnaround period is
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So of course it also takes the level of people.
Yeah.
We need to find them together, and
Yeah.
we're working with the Association of Beekeepers in
Nigeria.
to see how we can look into them and assist them.
Are you allowed to export honey out of Nigeria?
I'm sure of. We've not exported before.
All right.
We've not exported. We've just been serving the local market.
The
The local
local
market for
market.
honey is fantastic.
It's huge.
Very huge.
It's very.
Very huge, especially with the concentration of people being concerned with what they consume.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
you have to
You
eat
have to be
healthy."
careful. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's that. So
And
what
your
the
granite oil is, I would say, an offshoot of your flagship.
Exactly.
So that would be the third product. So what will be the fourth one?
The fourth one is also a northern. It's a northern drink. How many of you heard like kunu? Kunu aya.
Okay, kunu.
Yes, kunu
Yeah.
aya, but we call it, we modernize it and call it a tiger nut drink.
Okay, oh really? So
Yes.
it's kunu made from tiger nut.
The aya
Mhm.
is the aya, that's the tiger nut.
Right.
There's
Do you have
kunuzaki.
any of it around for us to
No,
see?
we don't. No, we
Okay,
don't.
okay.
It's quite perishable, and to fly it down here, it's
Right,
a bit of it's a bit of distance. But I'll tell you the components. It's tiger nut drink, is debino, that's date,
Okay.
and then coconut. These 3 products blended together, excellent drink.
Say that again.
Excellent drink.
Tiger
nut drink, tiger nut
seeds, dates,
dates, and then
coconuts.
These three together, wonderful combination.
Wonderful.
In fact, it's therapeutic for me. When I take it, it takes off my headache.
Seriously?
Yes. It's fantastic drink. I don't want to tell you all the components. It's enormous. It's on our website. You see it.
Right.
All the things that it does. You know, woman libido. I had a 45-year-old woman getting married recently, and they've told her, oh, because she stayed so long, there's this thing she needs to do.
Yeah.
So she's been spending
To
money.
get healthy. Wonderful. Now, so let us look closely at this. What would you say are your key challenges since you started the business in 2016?
Right. Two core things.
Right.
You know, availability of raw material.
Availability of raw materials.
At the time, we were looking at raw materials, and because you know it has seasons, and your storage has to be intact. Okay. But you see, lack of funding is also very challenging.
Yeah.
I'll bet you.
Groundnut is seasonal?
Yeah, it is. It's 6 months.
6 months.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a time. It's coming out now.
Okay.
So people stock, and then you know we have another. So the second was availability of funds.
Funds. Okay.
I'll tell you, in different times, we would have increased beyond this level.
Yeah.
But we have to use borrowed funds.
With your eye on 10 tons per week.
10 tons per week. It's doable.
Right.
You know, and lack of availability of funds. It's very crazy for small business.
Where have you been getting your funding from? And what type of funds have you been using?
I started with personal funds.
Personal funds.
Okay. I've worked with multinationals. I've worked with different companies. And I've always been a business person.
Right.
You know, from childhood. And I've always put my eyes on it.
Right.
So a bit of savings I put together. I started off with my savings.
Right.
I increased capacity. You know, I had family and friends who believed so much in me.
Yeah.
They joined hands together. But you see, you cannot convince every doubting Thomas at the beginning of the matter. It takes, out of 10 in the family, maybe one person sees a light in what you do. So I had somebody like that. Right. My brother, my friend, Bankole Makinde, he started with me. He just called me one day. He saw the product on Facebook and said, sis,
are you on Facebook?
Yes, we're on Facebook. Renee Golden Multi Ventures on Facebook.
Do you get orders via Facebook?
Yes, we get orders via Facebook, via Instagram.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Are these paid up orders?
Yes, there's a link line that links you to our line, and then we revert.
So
and we do deliveries.
Are you on any e-commerce website where you?
The one for my bank, you know, I have a bank that is sponsoring the move. They believe in me, so they have an e-commerce website. The
bank itself.
Yes, but don't forget that the reason why we have not gotten on the e-commerce site is it's not good for your customer to call for a good today, tomorrow. You don't have it.
You don't have it. Yeah.
We can't even. Let me talk about the retail chain aspect.
All right.
The retail chain aspect, I've helped 120 women.
Okay.
To do retail business.
Okay. Using the Kulikuli.
Yes.
Setting up the business for them.
I set them up. I sit them down. Last 2 weeks, a man flew his wife from Warri, Delta State, and sat his wife down in my office. I said, build her capacity for
Wonderful.
me. And he dropped cash.
Yes.
So she's our rep in Warri. We're not bothered about profit. We're just inquisitive to empower women, economically empower women, and you will save a city. She will have the capacity to keep the child fixed. She will have the capacity to grow the home. So you see, the retail chain is also another. I've not even touched that at all. So the funding is the major challenge.
Okay.
You know, when I'm trading with 26% interest. Excuse me. Where's my profit going? And I want my product to be affordable. So that's the thing. But we remain strong in business, knowing that someday an angel will appear to us, and we'll be able to get all the things.
Have you looked at the possibilities of getting funding from the capital market, maybe registering on the second tier for that purpose?
In fact, I was in a training last week. That Nigerian Stock Exchange. I belong to a group in the Nigerian system. It's called SMEDAN. Okay, so they organized a training for small business owners, and I was there, and we were looking at the possibility of a small business getting on the stock exchange market. So it's a welcome idea. It's a good one, but
there are certain steps to take.
There are certain steps. Okay.
Do you have financial advisors who are more or less approaching private individuals to do private placements or, some form of investment or equity. Are you open to equity?
Of course.
Equity participation?
Very open to it. It's just that the selective process and a consultant advisor. Right. That's why I'm in PDC. So you take care of that for us, and you put us on the right track.
Now, viewers, I will tell you this. I'm not going to taste the product yet. Like I said, I will taste it at the end of the roll. Because if I do it now, trust me, I'll forget about recording. But I just want to give Nike an opportunity, maybe about 4 minutes, to speak to potential angel investors. She's just mentioned to us that her most challenging aspect of the business, though she mentioned raw materials, but that essentially, there are, 101 ways of getting across or handling that, But she mentioned particularly the issue of funding, and she's had to, resource the business with her personal funds, family funds, and right now she's, using certain bank funds that I beat, over the roof, when it comes to the charges. That's how it goes, in the system. And at this point in time, I know she'll be looking at, more like equity participation from venture capitalists, or from angel investors for that matter, so that at least she can get funding at, zero cost, and her obligations will be, of course, to pay dividends, after a period of time as agreed, with her investors. So I'm going to give her an opportunity to speak straight to the camera, and speak, to the hearts of any intending angel investor or venture capitalist or, contributor, or even donors or grant givers or people who would, just say, look, we want to support a young African woman, for that matter, a woman of color who has, more or less looked beyond her immediate, environment, and has at the back of her mind, the upliftment of the rural women in Kutugi, in Niger State of Nigeria, and by extension to many other rural women, who are involved in groundnut farming. I mean, her gaze is directed, at this particular sector of the economy. And she's, she has a wonderful byproduct, which is the groundnut oil. And I tell you, the groundnut oil is the oil of choice. And I say I was brought up with groundnut oil, but, from the late 80s coming this way, we lost track with all that because the production of groundnut oil virtually faded away. And she also has honey, which is, you all know honey is, health food for all. And then the kunu, I can tell you, is a wonderful, wonderful drink. And if well preserved, can really go a long way, in resuscitating health and more or less, what will you call it now? Is it longevity or, there's something you call it. It can delay aging,
True.
And I can tell you I've experienced it. I look forward to taking Kunu again soon. So we'll be giving Nike, the next 4 or 5 minutes, to speak to the facts and more or less like do a pitch for a potential investors in her business. Nike, you have the camera for the next 5 minutes.
All right.
And so speak convincingly.
All right. So it's me, Adenike Apeji. My belief in the world is to always better every environment I find myself. Life and nature has taken me through the land of Niger over the years, and I've seen women and young people, a bit confused about the journey of life. I found something in their hands which can actually mean a lot to them. So helping them, first of all, to build that capacity and bring the gold mine out of that little peanut that they find in their hand is my drive. Okay, it's my drive to the bone to economically empower women, to give them a strength to use what they have to make the environment better. There's light everywhere. Someone just needs to put it on the shelf, you know, and I intend to be that person to help them, the local women, put their gold and their light on the shelf and to build capacity. We can build economic strength. We can do it, but with what is in our hands. Groundnut is what is here. We can build capacity from it. We can feed the nation. We can feed our children better. And we can make things work when we come together. So I'm looking to angel investors. I'm looking to people who will come and partner with me. I've started with my little funds. If I don't believe in it, I won't put my all in it. I practically, for the past 5 years, I've not kept any savings. I've put my all in it. And so believe me when I say that if your funds come, it's not going to be wasted. Because if I was going to waste it, I would have wasted mine. Yeah. So we're here, partner with us. Let's increase the capacity for other women and let's make it a better place for them. With Kuli Kuli, you're not only going to get the life of the people elicited alone, you're going to also get returns on investment. Right. Honestly, I didn't have time to show you our books, but I know that time will come. Right. Okay, with the revenue on a weekly basis, I get over 20 to 30% revenue back, direct revenue back on every product sold. Right. And every time, if you want to see my books from the day I started with 10 kg production till today, you'll find them intact. I have an accounting software that captures everything, that put the sales and everything intro. So I can tell you it's a product that has a good ROI. Let me give you a little bit about the ROI. Assuming that there are 10,000 students in a school. An average child takes a snack to school. Right. And we want to take 10% of the 100,000 students. Okay. That is how many students? 1,000. 1,000. Now, if 1,000 students in 50 schools take one Kuli Kuli to school, how many is that? 50,000. 50,000 packs. 50,000 packs. If 50,000 students buy that pack for 100 naira, how much is that? That's 50 million. I'm not even saying every day. Per week. Per week. So 10 million for 4 weeks. That's 40 million. Wow. So I'm just trying to blow your mind with the numbers. Wow. The ROI on this thing is fantastic. The return on investments, cherished viewers, is virtually great, I want to say. And as I mentioned to you earlier on, Nike is a qualified accountant, and so she knows her onions when it comes to the pennies. And from the pitch she's given, though brief, but I think that her figures can be better expressed, you know, when you get in contact with her. And like I said at the beginning, I'll taste this towards the end of the program as we are rounding up, because I'm going to get myself into a feast. Viewers, this is the Kuli Kuli snack. And you can just imagine, you know, when we have, this is made of granite, you have pepper in it, a little pepper, you have onions, you have garlic, you have, do you have ginger in it? No. Ginger is on special order. Special order, because it's not for everybody. Right, and then it has a, when you add some ingredients, it changes the color. It changes the color. Yes, so the color of the ginger is going to be different from this one. So whether you are in the UK, or in the US, or in Canada, or in Germany, or in Dubai, or in South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Gambia, Sierra Leone, wherever you are on the face of the earth, this is great snack to keep by you. Peanuts are highly nutritious. Children can take them, adults can take them, the youth can take them, everybody can take them. I've tasted it, you know, in the last 4 days when Nika came in for the training program. And I can tell you it became the snack for our event. And this, I can assure you, is the best. We're all going to look into this and do everything possible to encourage this young African lady, you know, who is making us proud, you know, in all that she's doing right now in Niger State of Nigeria and in Lagos State, and by extension, you mentioned Gambia, Ghana. Yes. What are your plans? Yes, we need to move to Gambia. Gambia has groundnuts. There's another pyramid to make in groundnuts. in Gambia.
So can you look forward
we have the
to,
young people
can you look
in
forward
Gambia
to empowering the youth there?
Absolutely. You see,
to stem illegal migration?
Exactly. We will do
Would you be
that.
looking at investing
We would.
downstream?
You must be your brother's keeper. You must be your brother's keeper. There's always the shore to keep. And so Gambia, our eyes are on Gambia.
Investors,
it's going to be an international business.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Nike, we are so grateful that you made our time to be with us.
Thank you very much.
And
it's my honor.
We know you leave for Lagos tomorrow. We wish you a safe journey as you go.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, please join me. This is Kuli Kuli from Renee Golden Multi Ventures. And like Nike has said, they are spreading all over West Africa, producing in as many countries as possible after consolidating their grip, in Nigeria. But the product is world bound. Thank you for being with us, and see you again on the next program. Meanwhile, we end it with a Kuli Kuli bite. Thank you.